fuck Dub at, man? Where the fuck he go?
Here I am. You looking for me?
Yo ass is fine. That got Dub, and I'm back with another video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Deuce from me and my big bro. Yeah, fuck this milk. He said he gonna teach me how to wrestle, man. I'm gonna win the belt.
Yo, cause I'm back for ya.
The boy Dub Deuce in the building. What up, what up, what up? It is that guy Dub, and I'm back with another video. How y'all doing? At the end of the day, shout it, I'm good money. Today we got a special guest in the building. We got DJ Maestro. What's happening, my brother?
Hey, ain't nothing much, big dog, man. I appreciate you for having me on your show, and everything is good, man. Taking it one day at a time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I know you doing your thing over there at Global R&B. How's that working out for you?
Man, it's going good, man. We actually just had our most successful month in a year and a half that we've been on. So this past month, man, we had the most listeners that we've had in a month. I think we hit about 17,000 listeners. And we're getting ready to have, looks like we're approaching 20,000 this month. So pretty good, man.
That's dope. You said you guys been over. How long you guys have been rocking it out over there? Y'all been at it for a minute.
Yeah. So what happened was we were up at least 10 years ago, and life happened, and the station went down for a while, and then about almost 2 years ago, they brought it back up. And so we're back up and running, and it's going pretty good, man. God is good.
Nothing wrong with that at all. But you said, like, you're not your stereotypical DJ. So I definitely wanted to, you said, touch in, or you said on some of that. You said you gear a lot towards R&B. You said now a couple of years, they had the whole big argument saying that R&B was dead.
Yeah.
You said, why is it important to you to carry that flag and plant that flag to hold the mantle for R&B? Because a lot of people, some people do feel that R&B is a dying art form because we're not showing love anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, honestly, man, R&B is very much alive. It's just the fact that you have to search for it now. So, unfortunately, the mainstream radio stations, they don't play a lot of the real R&B artists anymore. And so that's what I take pride in as far as that goes. Because what's crazy, a lot of the R&B artists now, they're actually they want to be rappers. They want to be hip hop artists. They all want to rap. They all want to, I don't know, it's weird. And then the hip hop artists, they want to sing. So they want to be each other. So you kind of got to dig a little bit, man, to find some real R&B artists out there. But they are there. But it's important to me, man, because that's all I came up on, man. I come from a very musical family. Yeah. Both my mom and dad, man, they exposed me to real music at an early age. And it's just something that's just in me.
I understand that. And I mean, because coming from where we come from, like Charlemagne the God said, we come from the 1900s.
Yeah.
So we have a different respect, than these kids today. It's like, I don't have a record player. I need to get one because I have vinyl around here.
Yeah.
Because like it's something different than going to a streaming service or putting in a CD. But when you put on that vinyl, it just sets the mood in a different kind of way.
Right.
It's like, what feeling does it give you when you start to hear that record? You said the pop right before the song comes on. What does that do to you?
Man, it's a weird feeling, man, because you kind of get all warm and fuzzy and shit inside, man, and you hear that little, I call it the snap, crackle, and pop of it, and it's just it's real, And what's crazy is we live in an age where everything is streamed, MP3s and so forth, but that's not really how the record is supposed to sound. The closest to perfection is on vinyl.
Right.
So that's how they really wanted you to hear, at least how it used to be. And but it's crazy now, man. Like vinyl records are making a comeback. Like, so even your newer artists, your SZAs, your Kendrick Lamar's, in hip hop, they're all dropping vinyls. And they cost about $30-$40 a pop, so you're gonna spend some bread when you get it. And but they're getting ready. I won't say they're going to get rid of CDs because there's always a place for them. But vinyl records have actually outsold CDs for the past 2 or 3 years, which is crazy.
I mean, it is. You said, of course, you do have your connoisseurs, because I don't know, like, you can still go into a Goodwill, or you can go into a vintage electronic store. You can still find an 8-track.
Yeah.
And people will buy them. Because still those connoisseurs of the nostalgia of using of those types of avenues. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you mentioned about these rappers wanting to sing, I already find it funny as it is, because a lot of these rappers are jokes altogether to me as it is. And so, like, but speaking of jokes, we've got a couple. You saying, like, I'm in the light skin crowd, so we got. I guess you said what I'm about to set up. I'm gonna have to hold this L. Genuine and Smokey Robinson. What? Help me expound on that, brother. What are they doing?
Man, Genuine. Well, I think Genuine has been helped with some substance in his day. He looks like he drinks a little bit right now. I can say the same thing about Keith Sweat. Every time I see Keith Sweat, he performs. He got a Hennessy in his hand. So I think Genuine. I don't know, man. He's kind of lost it. And Smokey, on the other end, this guy's closer to 90. Yeah. And he had like he had like he a teenager. So Smokey has found his inner child, so he's out there bumping and grinding. And it's funny you mentioned Smokey, man, because about an hour ago I was listening to his new album. He got a new album out called Gasms, which of course is short for orgasms. So Smokey really feeling himself nowadays. But
he must got something. I said he must got a young Nintendo or something.
He got to have something, man. The ladies love Smokey. He got the green eyes. I guess that's what it is. But it rides, man. So Genuine is kind of in my opinion, he's kind of making a mockery of himself. And then whereas Smokey, he's taking it back old school. He's always been talented, always been a great songwriter, and now he's finding a newer audience. I know he's worked with Anderson .Paak, for instance. So a lot of newer artists, it's like their dream to be able to work with Smokey. So he's doing the damn thing, actually, man. It's just kind of funny seeing him grinding on the stage, right. at 80. So, right. But it's all love.
And it's like, okay, so far in the past couple of weeks, with my past interviews, I've been touching on this one subject, and especially because I'm a hip hop head. I love R&B, but I'm a hip hop head. You being R&B, and of course, there's been such a debate within the past few weeks. I know we're in March now, so but it is what it is. You said, but the argument with there were certain people that loved Rihanna's Super Bowl performance, and there are people that thought it was Yeah. I'm in the crowd that thought it was Yeah. I don't give a damn that she was pregnant. That don't mean nothing. Because to me, music imitates art. Art is subjective. The interpretation I got from her performance was a bunch of sperm going to an egg to let us know that she was pregnant when we saw that she was pregnant when the lights came on. That kind of, to me, it was corny to me, but that's just me. But not taking anything away from Rihanna, because the hits were hitting, because she's got the hit. But you said my personal opinion, and this is trying to make my platform about everybody being able to express their opinion with no judgment and things like that. So that's where I stand as far as that particular performance. Where did it land in your ecosphere?
You know what, man? In retrospect, I was just really glad to see her do something, because it had been so long. So it didn't take too long for us to find out that either she been eating what Sherman Clump was eating, or she pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And you found that out almost immediately. So did it click? I'm like, I think she pregnant. That's why she ain't really dancing so much. So I guess, I'm not a woman, so I don't know what you can and cannot do, but I do know some women, they be showing, they still be going to the gym and they be getting it in. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, I guess you probably could have done a little more. You want to see her move a little bit more, for sure. And I can understand that. I get that part of it. But she had, I think she did maybe 12 songs
I think
in
so.
15 minutes. And I'm like, man, she got some hits. I mean, this wasn't she got some jams, and she left out a whole lot of songs that she could have did. So I'm like, Rihanna's that girl. So I appreciated that part of it, because I'm like, when I go to a concert, that's what I want to see. I want you to do your hits, and I want you to do it well. I want you to sound like you do on your song. I mean, on the record, when you're singing live. And I think vocally, I think she did okay. Rihanna's not like the biggest, the best singer anyway, but to do her own song, she did okay. You know what I mean? So,
and see, me personally, I think vocally, this was one of her best performances. To me. You know what I'm saying? And people, I've gotten backlash on it. Oh, well, you saying Rihanna's a billionaire. Okay, she's supposed to entertain me. You saying but once again, I said art is subjective. The art that she was portraying, you saying the story she was trying to tell, you saying wasn't that cool to me. You said the high wire stuff, all that was amazing. Choreography was pretty cool, everything like that. But of course, then again, I can also critique last year's.
Yeah.
Me being a car guy, I wanted to jump through the screen and throw a football at everybody's head that was standing on top of them lowriders. I do that.
Yeah.
Use 50 Cent being out of breath.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand the whole Golden Lords from Meteor Man deal that Kendrick was doing, but I like the songs. It's like so we could critique it because, like I said, art is subjective. But it's like it seems like people get so upset when you have your own opinion. And I know you're very opinionated, man. So what kind of backlash do you get, or what kind of critiques do you get when you're doing your art as far as DJing?
Well, as a DJ, I don't know if I even get critiqued that way. Well, not to my face anyway. I don't know if anybody really critiques me the way I critique people, because to me, I just say this: a good DJ or a great DJ, you got to know how to mix, you got to know how to transition, you have to know how to blend together, you have to know how to move a crowd. Now, some people think that that's being on the microphone and talking all night. No, that's not necessarily the case, because I know some DJs like myself who will rarely touch a mic unless I have to make an announcement. And I let the music do it for me. So when I'm critiquing myself, I critique on just making everything seamless. And I'm a perfectionist, but not a perfectionist. So I'm hard on myself, but I learned not to be as hard on myself as I used to be. Because I would do a mix and everybody would say, man, you killed it. And then I'd be like, but I probably should let this song play a little longer. I probably could have did this. I probably could have did that. But so what is weird though, when I go out to an event, when I do go out to an event and I'm not DJing, there's another DJ there, and I'll do the same thing to them, and I can't help myself. So I don't even go out no more, because I don't want to never make somebody feel like I'm high and mighty and all that kind of stuff. So I just critique music and artists like, whatever you do it well. Stage presence is everything for me. That's what's wrong with one thing I say about Drake. You like hip hop, I put it in hip hop. One thing I say about Drake, Jay-Z, Kendrick, they have excellent stage presence. You might not like them. They might get on your nerves. You might not be feeling them like that, but they always put on a great show. You can understand what they're saying. They interact with their crowd. You know, they'll throw a song at you that you ain't heard in a while. Like, man, I ain't heard that in a minute. You know, so they have a great stage presence. And I think that's really when you're in the entertainment business, whether you're a producer, whether you're a rapper or a singer, musician, you should have excellent stage presence. And your record should at least sound like the record that I first heard. When you don't sound like that, that's when I have issues. And so to answer your question, as far as like what do I see? I think people don't take their craft that seriously. You know, a lot of people they may have the money, they may have the followers, but a lot of people really just don't take their craft seriously, and it shows in the presentation and you know how it comes out. So that's how I critique artists, and that's how I critique myself, and I take pride in taking what I do seriously.
I'm glad you brought that up. People not taking their craft seriously, because it brings me to another question.
Mm-hmm.
Since the pandemic, you know, the Rona and everything, they started doing the versus battles.
Yeah.
Some of them R&B ones, they fell short, fell flat.
Terrible.
And you got to realize exactly what you said: who can sing and who can't.
Mm-hmm.
You just right off the top of my head, Omarion cannot sing.
Nope. Nope. I'm with you. No argument.
Mario, he's got, but you just like, I don't know what they got paid for that or whatever, but you said, like, to me, if I were Timbaland and Swiss Beats, I'd be on your ass like back pockets on the phone afterward, bruh.
Yeah, because you're messing with my money now.
Yeah,
because it's a business for them, Timbaland and Swiss, you know, putting these people together. So, you know, so you messing with my money now, but more importantly, you're not really you're not doing justice to your fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't know if those people paid to get in or if it's a free event, but it don't really matter whether it's free or not. They be coming out sloppy. Some of them, they come out sloppy. You know, they be drinking. Some of them, they was fighting each other. You know, all kind of crazy stuff, coming late. You know, and I think I've seen some really good versions. I love the concept, but I've seen some bad ones too.
Yeah, like
I think they need to get it together for the next one.
Yeah, definitely, because I think one of the next ones is Diddy versus Jermaine Dupri,
which should be good. Because one thing I say about Diddy, he has stage presence. You may not like him. He might be an asshole to a lot of folks, but he has, you know, I can't say how really talented he is, but he surrounded himself by a lot of talented people, and he does give a good show.
I think Diddy's the blueprint for a DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
You said he's got an ear, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
You said it's like so, but me personally, I don't know which way to go on that one, because Jermaine Dupri got some hits too, and he's worked with some phenomenal artists. So
yeah,
I mean, and of course, I mean, Jermaine Dupri's been in it way longer. You remember back in the early '90s, we were crisscrossing music, all of that. I mean, but like I said, it's definitely one of those things. So if you could have your ultimate pick for a versus battle that you have not seen, even if it could be an artist that you have seen yet, but maybe pitting them against another artist, what would be your all-time versus battle?
Man, okay, I got to put this in two ways, because some of my favorite artists that I would have loved to have in a versus, they ain't here anymore. Mm-hmm. It probably would have never happened, but I would have loved to see an MJ Prince. I mean, that probably would have broke the internet. That would have been that powerful. So somebody who's current, who I think would do really good in the verses, I would like to see Stevie Wonder. Like Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson, I think would be a really good versus. That'd be hot, because both of them produce. Both of them are excellent writers. They write for themselves, and other folks, and they got hits for days.
Mhm.
That would be good. And then they worked in Motown together, so they like each other. They friends.
Right.
That'd be like a really good versus. I would like to see Al Green in the verses. I don't know who he would go against though, because I would love to see Al Green in the verses. Damn, they already did the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire. That was hot.
It was hot. Steve Harvey messed that up, but
He did. He talked a lot.
yes,
He talked too much.
Back to the previous point, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a perfect setting. I mean, they had it on Mother's Day. I mean, I remember I watched it with my mom. That was perfect. Just it was really cool. I'm trying to see, man. Just honestly, okay. I think that the Babyface, he did one, but I think Babyface needs to do it over because when they did it, I think that was like one of the first, and they had like
Might have been like
issues.
third.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
like technical difficulties the whole time. And I actually think that Teddy Riley was a bad pick for him because Teddy don't sing. He produced, but he don't sing. So Babyface should have had one, and I think like Babyface also he could have maybe gone out with Smokey, and they could have had it like almost like a ladies' night kind of ladies they could have really made some money off that if I think they should redo it. But damn, I'm trying to think, man. Cardi B, Lil Kim, Nicki Minaj would be cool.
Okay. Yeah.
You already know they kind of iffy around each other. So if you want the drama, if you like that kind of stuff, you definitely would tune into that one.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
But it's not too many, man. Because to me, you got to have hits too, and like Omarion, we both agree when he did his verses, he can't sing, but he did have more hits than Mario.
Yeah,
but Mario was the better singer.
Mario was the better singer. I think because music is all about timing, and I think when Mario came out, there was a huge flood of male solo vocalists at that time. And I think he just because like right around that same time was the same time Neo came out, but Neo was also a writer and was writing for Beyonce at the time.
Yep.
I think that somebody like Mario, I think had he maybe came out a year or two before or a year or two after, I think he probably would be bigger than he became. But I just think that particular timing, you know what I'm saying? It's like
and another one, man.
Funny because when we was coming up, we had South Cobb, you know what I'm saying? We had the Cantina, the Guard, all kind of stuff, we had coming up. Could you imagine somebody going from, this the city, this the city, this the city to a Lil Uzi Vert? No. And it's I mean, yes, time changes and stuff like that, but that kind of music like that you saying metrosexual, we wasn't rocking with it. It's not like we were judging it either. It was just like, yo, that's a whole different type of crowd. That's not our scene. We're not there. Yeah. More power to you, but we're not there. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like now that's where so many people are. Because like I said, I've got on a hoodie. He's of course I had to show up with this hat with the DJ needle on it. You know what I'm saying? It's paying homage to my DJs, but
appreciate you, big dog.
You saying I hate saying they because we don't really know who they are. But if you're not dressed in hoochie daddy shorts and you send some ugly Dior shirt that's way overpriced, you don't have drip. So I'm not gonna pay with you. You ain't got the drip. Okay. Like I think that you said it's like it ties back into once we started taking love out of our music, it caused more people to run wild and to not even really care. Everybody's about I got my side piece of my sneaky link of this, that, and the third. But tying it back together, Usher, a couple of years ago, after they brought the whole R&B is dead, he said he was going to be the one to bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Usher is the one that could be able to make that happen?
Yeah. As long you know what I think Usher's biggest issue is, man? Because Usher, I don't know if you even caught like his Tiny Desk performance. He did an awesome job
I
with
love
that,
it.
man. I mean, that was great. I like that actually more than most of the verses they had. Just that it was really simple. So Usher has the capability to do it. He definitely has, a loyal fan base. They're gonna follow him wherever he goes. I think Usher's biggest thing is sometimes, especially as men, we're very ego driven, and then we sometimes feel like we got to compete or we have to compete or sell ourselves short to stay popular. Like I feel like Usher, for a minute, he was trying to compete with Chris Brown. Chris Brown was kind of coming in and taking some of his folks with him. And then Usher's, his music kind of, I call it going backwards, because I believe like when you're 40 years old, 50 years old, I mean, come on, it's like Jay-Z. Jay-Z came out and then, he used to talk about the cars and the women and all stuff, but then he gotten older, he can't talk about the same shit no more.
Right.
It's not even believable anymore.
Right.
So, and the same thing for Usher. It's like he kind of went backwards. So I think I think he can do it, but I think he needs to be true to himself. So like, you don't have to do what Chris Brown does. If Usher don't dance another lick, and he can dance, but if he don't dance another lick, he'll be fine just by singing. You know
I
what I'm saying?
definitely agree. Now, you said when it came to the verses, everybody was like, "Oh, Chris Brown and Usher." Do not disrespect us by doing that.
Yeah.
If it was going to be Chris Brown or anybody, it should have been some, because I think they're both equally yoked when it comes to dancing. Chris Brown's a better vocalist than Omarion.
Yeah.
But I think that'd have been a better fit, because
I agree.
for me, even though Omarion has the dance moves, he got washed by Mario.
Yeah.
Just because of the vocals. I would want to pit somebody that's, you saying, more equally matched. You know what I mean? So like Usher, you can't put Usher versus Chris Brown, because you saying because to me it would depend on who's in the room.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I feel about that. And answering the question too is this: you're right. You're absolutely 100% right. He would have to mature his content.
Yeah.
Because to me, you're like, yeah, the young folks don't like it, but to me, one of Jay-Z's greatest albums is 444. He was open, he was honest, he was vulnerable. He was like, you don't have to be the hardcore street. You're like, dude, you can feel.
Yeah.
To me, that's one of the greatest albums, the hip hop albums ever. To me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because he was telling you don't have to be that street dude no more. You can
That's
grow
right.
up and evolve.
Yeah, the story of OJ, for instance, just people used to clown Nas, because Nas was more of a, well, speaking of verses, I would love to see that. I would love to see Jay-Z and the Nas. That probably would never happen, but I would love to see it. They both came out same time from the same. I mean, you couldn't go wrong with the Jay-Z and Nas verses, just to put that out there. But Nas always was thought of as boring at times, because he will always come out with content to make you think, rather than bragging about the hoes and the money and the cars. And so it was nice that Jay-Z was able to kind of grow up a little bit, and and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of artists, they just kind of tend to go backwards. I was talking about Sierra, for instance. Like, I have no problem. A lot of people had a problem with her having that song out where she was telling the women, you don't need a man for this or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe you don't. But I can't remember the last time that I've seen Sierra like sing a love song. Like,
Right.
It's been a long time, like and I get you have an audience, but if your audience is really rocking with you, they'll go where you go.
Mhm.
You don't have to go backwards. I ain't never seen NDRE switch it up, talking about she's not the average girl from the video. Now you see I ain't never seen the switch up. She
No.
just, that she just, and she doesn't get the credit she deserves because of it, maybe, but she's continue evolving, and you supposed to evolve up, not down.
Mhm. And like even with the Jill Scott, yes, you send we had them road pics that were you sent leaked a couple of some years back,
Yeah,
but she still carried herself and still being held in high standards. You said as that you said that lady that you said women should strive to be. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like which and it's like I said because there's a lane for anything. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
Like I was explaining to my wife last night. She was like, "Well, why do men like you send half naked women on the internet, but they don't want their women to go out the house?" I was like, because it's cool to look at it on the internet, but if you're gonna see that on your woman, you want to see that in your bedroom, not for everybody else.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and everybody's going in on the whole Sierra thing. You saying as far as what she wore to that party? Oh, well, it was the theme. Okay, so if the theme was for men to show up in speedos, you said how many of y'all women would have that same energy?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Where Sierra standing next to her husband, he's in a speedo. You know what I'm saying? Or you said, don't matter what he got down there, but you said it would. It would reach Sierra's radar, and and then she would have to hear that stuff. You said
yeah,
you don't think Russell's saying DMs was blowing up like, yo man, what's your wife doing, my man? Y'all was just in the church catching the Holy Ghost, at the prison, and with the prisoners catching the Holy Ghost. Now she naked on the red carpet.
yeah, yeah, man. And I feel like and people are like, well, that's his wife, and I guess he had to have okayed it, and maybe he did. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I think people are afraid of growth.
Mhm.
Sierra not only has, I look at it differently. I look at it not saying that she can't wear what she wants to wear, because she can, obviously,
Mhm.
but she got what, two boys and a girl now, right?
Mhm.
I mean, so my mindset is like, hey, I can be sexy without being trashy. I
Mhm.
can show some skin, but leave some to the imagination too.
Right.
And people think, because when Lizzo did it, when she came to the Lakers game, I think it was last year or year before,
Yeah.
and she had basically the same thing that Sierra had on, nothing. It came to a family event now with an ass out, and they was like, "Well, you guys are y'all are shaming her for her size." Like, no, it got nothing to do with the size. Put some damn clothes on. It's a time and place for everything.
Right. 'Cause like you just said, there were children there. Using it's like everybody's not gonna like everything that you
Mm-hmm.
wear. Using just like you can go to California right now. If you wear a baseball cap and you anywhere like in the inner city, somebody's gonna ask you a question using
Yeah.
what set you're playing. No matter what color the hat is, the fact that you have a baseball cap on,
Yep.
somebody's gonna have something to say. Use it like if you moved from Michigan in the dead of winter down to Houston, Texas, where
Yeah.
even in the wintertime it's fairly warm, but you're still dressed for Michigan, people are gonna have something to say.
Yeah.
You say it's like with Amber Rose, you said her son, I think is 8 or 9 now. He's having to explain to his friends why mommy has an OnlyFans. That I have a problem with
Yeah.
because you shouldn't involve kids in your mess. But then again, it also goes back to the kids that are asking the son the question in the first place. What is your 8-year-old talking to my 8-year-old for about OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Usually it's like, so like, we all giving these kids these devices and everything. It's like, I guess I want to tie it into like, I wish that these kids would you saying like do more research. You saying like onto like especially with the music. You said
Yeah.
with the R&B because you said like my kids, I've taught them from you saying like from Elvis Presley, you saying to the Motown, to you saying like the Jermaine Dupri, Diddy, you said like Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Vanilla Ice, Matt, you name it, all the way from you said as far back as my parents took me
Mm-hmm.
till now. You know, and of course, they're pretty much all in agreement that today's music is pretty much trash because it's just let's get high in the studio and just whatever comes out comes out.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't think there's any more passion anymore. You say when it comes to a lot of this music.
Yeah,
So
man.
I think it's important that you send an Usher or that you send, or hell, even a Genuine. Get back in, get your vocal coach back together. Get your you send if you need to dance on stage, get somebody to help you with that, brother. Because you see, because when we look back at your old stuff, we're like, good Lord, brother.
Yeah. That's a, and
and
it ain't that he old.
Yeah.
He's not old. I don't even know Genuine is 50 yet. So
I think he's 48, I think.
Yeah. So he's not an old cat. You know what I mean? I don't look at Genuine as old.
I don't either.
So,
but you said going I know you said with the 14 years removed from the last time we saw MJ on a stage, but even at 50, I mean, like he made those moves work for his 50-year-old body.
Yep.
This whole little thing that Genuine was doing, that wasn't it, bro.
Nope.
That wasn't
it was shameful, man. I'm like, man, he's serious.
And then when they did the memes, you know, like he made it put the cartoon couch like he was trying to carry the couch. Oh my God, brother!
It's terrible, man. Making a mockery of himself, man. Like like I say, I saw, and I saw it on the Verses with Keith Sweat. You know, he was on stage with Hennessy, like he was making love to the Hennessy. I'm like, man, you never go on stage drunk, man. Don't let nobody see you like that. And like, to me, it's just tacky. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, man. And it goes, you know, if you want to take a little step further, I think that what's missing today in society, the way kids dress, the music they listen to, the lack of course, it's lack of parenting in some cases, but just a lack of pride. Because if you really have some pride about yourself, man, you could be the poorest kid on the block. Mm-hmm. But you know, when I was growing up, and I learned this from my dad. My dad would make us iron our stuff. We had to have a crease in the. I ain't seen a crease in the longest time. The only time I see a crease is somebody who's in the military. I never see anybody iron out a crease in their pants anymore, their shirt. Like it's just you just walk out like however now.
Right.
You know, and this
the last time I saw a crease was on a suit for a wedding. But of course, then again, now you don't even see that many wedding videos anymore.
Yep.
You know, you see more baby showers than you do wedding videos.
Yep.
You know, so like as a DJ, I'm pretty sure you get asked to do all kinds of events and stuff like that. But you just like, what's certain events that you refuse to take? Even I don't want to say refuse to take because I don't want you to box yourself a pigeonhole you for whoever might use it. Like, what are your favorite events to do? Let's put it like that.
Man, my favorite events. My favorite event to do is anything where I have complete freedom and when I can play anything. So like if I want to go from playing Lil Baby, but then I want to follow it up and mix in Madonna and have the freedom to do that. And then everybody looking at me, not because, you know, I don't say nothing, but I'm paying attention the whole time. And I see faces and they be like, then they start nodding their head to it like, what was that? I love to be able to do that. So to me, to have any event where I can have just freedom behind the decks is my favorite. I like it when it's a big age range. So like I would love it to be in a room with a bunch of 35 and up people. I love it even better when it's 40 and up. Because to me, the older they are, the more fun they have. Because they come from a time where they got on the dance floor. Yeah. And it don't really matter if they can't do all them same dance moves no more like Genuine. They get out there and they try. And whereas the younger crowd, the teenagers, I hate those parties. I almost always pass those up or give them to somebody else. If you having a Sweet 16, because this is all they're gonna do. They're gonna be on their phone like this. The boys, when we was growing up, man, and going to parties and going to clubs, man, you couldn't keep up. You couldn't keep us off one another. You know, they used to have to break us up at the school dances and stuff. Hey. Not
Right.
now. You ain't got to worry about that now. Because all the
Yeah.
girls gonna dance with the girls, and the boys, you might have one or two boys that dance, but they just gonna sit there and they think they so cool, but they so lame. They look so lame.
They
And
really do. You're not enjoying life anymore. You say you're stuck.
oh man.
You're stuck
So
on the internet.
yeah. So if I had to choose a party, I don't like team events for the most part. And I have a love-hate relationship with clubs because you've been to Vegas before?
Yes.
Okay. You go out to the club in Vegas, you're gonna hear all kind of stuff. When you go to the club in Vegas. Like you're gonna get your techno, your EDM, your hip hop, whatever, you're gonna hear it. And I like that in the club because I just feel like good music is good music. You know what I mean? Regardless of the genre, if it's tight, it's tight. And I don't like going to some clubs because I know I'm going to be forced to have to play a certain type of music. It is boring after a while.
Right.
And you're dealing with music where they don't use real instruments anymore, so they all sound the same. It's not a challenge, because it's a challenge when you're DJing with music that use real instruments, because the timing is never perfect. So you always have to pay close attention to the tempo, because it'll switch up on you. So you're doing like this, but you're like, why is it sounding slow now? So it's always like a pull and a give. But with today's music, it's just the same. It's the same old, and it's boring.
I definitely agree with that, usually, because like we're going back to, we was talking about records. Usually, just like, because they had less technology but gave more passion.
Yep.
I mean, like, you look at some of the movies that some of the biopics that do it right. You said, like, we'll say hip hop, Straight Outta Compton, where he was like, after he had run Eazy-E through that first line 6-7 times. Okay, now we got to do it 59 more times. You said, to where it's like, all right, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Upload. He was just like, he said, and it's crazy because, like I said, I've been you just like, how every now and again, like, certain things will come back in your YouTube feed or in your
your memories. Yep.
For me, what's been coming up here the past couple of days was the J. Cole LA Leakers freestyle. He's in one line that J. Cole said, he said, who else gave the world more fire but got less reward? I guess that must mean that less is more. It's like,
yeah.
So with that being said, it's like, because I saw something else about Ice Spice, I guess, is past J. Cole on streaming numbers for the month. I'm like, do you have a point?
Yeah.
Is there a point? Are you approaching that point?
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy, man. Just you're right, man. Talking about passion and lack of originality, just sending off a song. A lot of these newer artists don't even know what it means to have your song mixed and mastered. A lot of songs, it sounds good in the studio. I guess it sounds good in the studio. It sounds good to them in the studio, but then when you bring it out and you try to play it on a sound system, a club sound system, like, oh, it sounds like trash. It sounds distorted. That's because they don't even know what they haven't even had anybody to mix their song for them to make it sound good. So it's almost the equivalent of where you used to hear somebody try to put some speakers in their car, and all you hear is that rattle. No, that's and it sounds horrible. Like it's not the speakers, it's the amp. If you have a good amp, you can make them speakers sound good. But if your amp is trash, then the speakers gonna be trash. And that's exactly how it comes out in the club. And then as a DJ, you're trying to, you don't want to be what they call in the red. When it's so loud, it starts clipping, and you're trying to EQ it on the fly. It's just trash. It's horrible. It's horrible. That's all I can say. But
another song out there you said that popped up in my feed, and it was like from the I guess early to mid 2000s. I can't remember the group name, but the song was called "Do the Heisman."
Mm,
Now I keep seeing these memes of DJs doing the Heisman
hmm.
on people coming up to their DJ booth. What is your biggest pet peeve and that will get you that Heisman stiff arm coming up to your DJ booth?
You know what? I think most DJs would agree. DJs hate requests. Like it just in the right moment, it's cool. But what happens is people they request something and then they want you to play it now.
Mhm.
You be like, I cannot go from playing Kurt Franklin to this or vice versa. It's just not gonna work. And then
Right.
you're talking about the beats per minute. You got a song that's 130 beats per minute, but you want me to come back and play something that's 70. There's no way you can make that sound good. And so a lot of people they don't understand there are levels to an event because you don't want to play all your bangers
Mhm.
before people get there. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? If your set started at 9 o'clock in the club and the club closes at 12 or 1, don't play all your bangers the first hour. You're supposed to
Right.
play, you know what I'm saying? And they don't understand that. So requests get to be annoying at times when they expect you to play it now. Or then better yet, you'll get the ones that say, I'm getting ready to leave. Can you play this? Bye. Like bye. And so
You-
that's what I would say is the most annoying is requests at times. But there are sometimes requests come in handy.
mhm.
Like especially if you're because the songs now they come out much faster than they used to. So
Yeah.
you'll come in thinking you got okay, I got everything by this artist. I'm good. They ain't dropped a whole mixtape the night before, and you be like, "What song is this?" You know. So sometimes it comes in handy. If it's a hot song, especially because you know you're working with a younger crowd. Sometimes it does help to get requests too, and
Mhm.
so you can go ahead and plug it in as needed. But yeah.
Okay, you said well, with that being said, with being able to do it on the fly, you was like, do you keep you like a Wi-Fi setup with you, or do you make sure that the event that you go into has Wi-Fi there just for that particular instance?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I don't. Here's a bad thing about it. I never trust Wi-Fi. So I do know some DJs. That's all they use is Wi-Fi now.
Mhm.
Like they stream everything, which I think is a no-no because if it freezes, if it goes up, you shit out of luck. For a minute. So a lot of newer. This goes back to passion. It's a lot of lazy DJs too. They don't. It's to me, it's fun to go in a record store. Whether it's a vinyl place. I go in. I'm like, ah, and I'm ready. To me, it's a lot of fun to do a lot of crate digging and to find your music. But now everybody they're lazy, so they either stream everything or they'll ask DJs to basically give them their whole collection. Like, can anybody give me Michael Jackson's full, discography? You'd be like, what? It's Michael Jackson. I mean, so people are lazy
Yeah.
nowadays too.
You said it was like you said now if you guys want to, you said book DJ Maestro. You said you follow him. You said he give you great pricing and stuff like that. You said just you said what the question I wanted to ask is because I've been asking this question to any DJ I've had. How frustrating is it for to be undercut? Because you said because you've been in it for a minute, and you've been honing your craft and doing your thing. To sit there and be like, okay, you said you know what I bring to the table, but then to get that call, like, yeah, we decided what to go with the $150 DJ. You said or something like you
Oh,
like.
you know what, man? That's very frustrating. It sucks. It's really messed up, but it always comes back on them.
Mhm.
It comes back to the DJ that's involved, and then it also comes back to the party that hired them because it never works out. It never works out. I had something like that happen to me last summer, right? I was, and so what happened was they had a homeboy that was going to do it cheaper than I did, and I think of myself as fair. So when I make a price, I'm competitive, and I'm trying to make I'm trying to have a competitive price, and also make a profit every time I go out. Because that's the key. You just want to make a profit on your investment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm pretty fair, but she hired somebody else and had a party, and her excuse was, well, since you weren't from Chicago, I didn't think that you would know about house music. I'm like, yeah. I mean, think about it. Everything out there now is either all the really danceable music now is either house or Afrobeat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know about it. But
Yeah.
she really, it was just he undercut me,
Mm-hmm.
and he was gonna be cheaper, and then that was her homeboy. So I said, okay. So what's crazy was she had to come back to me for another event.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, well, I couldn't get my homeboy, but I really love you to do my event for her. So I said, okay. And I didn't go down on my prices or nothing. It was what it was.
Right.
I did her event, and people are walking up to me asking for cards and business cards. And then I heard several guests say, he should have DJ'd your party. Why he didn't DJ? And to me, it's that, I could have been mad, I could have been salty, but it always comes back, full circle. So, and then once you start undercutting people, you have to always stay that price. And they're going to tell people, oh, he does it for $150.
Mm-hmm.
So you never get out that rut. So then they're going to look at you funny when all of a sudden you try to up your price. So
Mm-hmm.
you're always going to be in the red pretty much as a DJ when you start undercutting.
Is it my brother? You say my brother DJ Ace Boogie. I've showed up to events with him, and they've tried to lowball him on the fly. He's already given you the service agreement. You've already put down your deposit. Now you're trying not to pay the back end of the thing and to get it for the deposit and stuff like that. And I tell you the funniest thing my brother did. He was like, because I was helping him bring his stuff in. He's like, dude, hold on real quick. He's like, bro, you got your cell phone on you? The guy goes, yeah. He was like, let me see your cell phone. He's like, plug this aux jack in it, DJ all night. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to make a believer out of folks. And especially like club owners, man, they definitely try to get, they'll throw the bar tab at you with the quickness. We'll give you such and such from the door, and then you get a bar tab. Well, I don't drink like that, so I don't really. That's not gonna work for me because I don't really drink. I don't like drinking on the job. So you're gonna have to come with the money, But then they'll come, which is crazy. They'll try to undercut you, which is another reason why I don't do clubs like that. They'll try to undercut you, but that same night they got a $500 bikini contest to the winner, or a dance off, or shake off. Like, wait a minute, you give away my money to see somebody get naked, but I get a bar tab and $150? No. And without me, this whole shit is shut down.
Right.
So, DJs, man, can be some of the most disrespected business providers out there. You go to a wedding, people don't never mess with the shelves. They'll never mess with the shelves. They'll never mess with the decorators. They always want to mess with the person who's going to provide that entertainment for the next 4 hours.
Right.
And we're the first to get in there a lot of times and the last one to leave. And so I'm all about DJs getting their money, and you can get that money, because what you have to do is you just have to show people your value.
Right.
And you don't nickel and dime people, but you show them the value of what you bring to the table. You don't have to compare yourself to another DJ. Just be yourself. And you say, hey, this is what I do, and this is what I do well. If you would like a sample of my work, whether it's by mix or maybe I have, a video or word of mouth, and if they don't rock with you, cool. Because there's always somebody who will.
Okay. So every DJ that I've talked to, pretty much, you said has, whether it's any type of event, you have that one. 9 times out of 10, it's either a teenage kid, you said a mid-20s guy, or mid-30s guy.
Mm-hmm.
They come to you. I love music too. How do I get started doing what you do? What you said? What is that one thing that you tell them?
Man, it's funny. Somebody just asked me that last week, and it was a girl who worked at the hotel that I DJ'd at, and she was like, she was very complimentary. She said, "I love what you do. It was seamless. It was smooth. Do you give lessons?" I said, "I have, and I said, and I will, but you got to show me that you want it to." So, like, remember I was just talking about lazy DJs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see you go out there. If you start collecting, because first thing first, bump everything else around you, the controllers, the turntables, speakers, and all that stuff. If you ain't got the music, you ain't got nothing. So get your music together, and you get that, and then you have to be, it's a cliche, but you got to practice. It takes a lot of practice, man. And a lot of people who ask that question, we pick at the white folks, say they ain't got no rhythm, but a lot of folks ain't got rhythm. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you got to put them in a music theory composition kind of class, mm-hmm. because you got to learn the music signatures, how many beats, and when to bring in certain songs and when not to, when to scratch, when not to scratch. And a lot of times they focus on the scratching and then they forget about everything else.
Right.
And I'm more than willing to help somebody who really wants to do it, man. And I'm not that kind of cat, because I feel like if you got if I'm withholding information, it doesn't really benefit me none. And if I'm a millionaire, right, and I'm making that bread, so I'm making money in my sleep, it does me no justice to hold on to that. Why couldn't I give that and help you out, give that same information to the next? It don't do me no justice. So I enjoy it for those who really want to learn. But you figure out how to weed them out too, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. With that being said, I'll have to thank you so much, brother. You have blessed me, and you said, dude, this was an awesome, amazing time. I have to thank you once again for you saying.
Oh, thank you, man.
Make sure that you drop your social, so if anybody wants to get in contact with you, so they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, man. Probably the easiest way to get to me, man, is on Instagram. You'll see posts I have with my show, which is called Live at the Barbecue, which comes on every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But my Instagram handle is DJ Maestro. That's MAESTROATL, and that's how you find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. You said, do you have anything other than Live at the Barbecue coming up?
Live at the Barbecue, it will be next Saturday. So on Global R&B Radio, and it comes on at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Live at the Barbecue, man, has music for everybody. So it's old and newer, but it's gonna be good shit. Excuse my language, but it's gonna be good. So I ain't playing no crap and B. I'm playing R&B. So if you tired of the formulas that you get with the main, the big heads, come on over. I'll show you some real music, and we have a good time. And
that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
Without further ado, with that being said, make sure that y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell, turn on all the post notifications so you don't miss another video. Without further ado, I love you. My guest DJ Maestro loves you. Y'all stay safe. God bless, and hold it in the road. Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Be blessed.
You know, where the fuck Dub at, man? Where the fuck he go? Here I am. You looking for me?
Yo ass is boy, that got Dub, and I'm back with another video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Deuce from the me and my big bro. Yeah, fuck this milk. He said he gonna teach me how to wrestle, man. Look, I'm gonna win the belt.
Cause I'm back for ya. The boy Dub Deuce in the building.